First of all, just towards the word neurodiversity. And that word will probably change in the future. I'm not tied to the word, but the movement of taking people's differences away from medical diagnoses really liberates us to think about what the assets that people bring, as well as the struggles that they have. There's so much talent out there that we might be missing. Unwarrantedly, we are stigmatizing some of our best talent and our best problem solvers. People are changing not only the language, but the way they view neurodiversity and see that we all have strengths and weaknesses. We all need some kinds of accommodations. And if we see each other as individuals and work with each other as individuals, we're going to learn so much more and solve so much bigger problems and better problems than without that. Building time into the school day and building room into the pedagogy for that relationship building and those deep interactions is paramount. That happens, in my experience, when I saw research in the classroom and in national studies we did. Game-based learning and project-based learning are two pedagogies that can really help that happen. When kids who are gamers, in my team, we do a lot of game-based education. I want to emphasize that we're not trying to make more gamers. There's plenty out there. What we're trying to do is use the time that gamers use and make that productive for their learning and leverage the problem solving that they do in games. And when we use well-crafted games, like Turk's game Zumbinis, which is a logical thinking game, a logical puzzle solving game, we find that kids who may not be performing well at other aspects of school become the rock stars in the class. They're sometimes the first to solve these problems. And then the other kids in the class want to know how they did it. And they become class leaders. And all of a sudden they have confidence and status in the class where they never had before. And all of a sudden they see themselves as learners. And so then I've seen studies where kids who were deemed illiterate in school were reading high school level textbooks when it came to, or not textbooks, high school level guides when it came to solving problems in World of Warcraft. So again, building the content that you want them to learn into projects where they are interested, they're motivated, and they feel they have agency. They feel like they're in part of control of their own learning. That's what we see as successful. And in addition to these innovative pedagogies, what we also find can help a lot of students is using executive function supports within the context of their pedagogies and their activities. By this, I mean supporting working memory, maybe using some graphic organizers or some cue cards, supporting attention by creating simple interfaces without a lot of distraction and focusing on the main content, and supporting metacognition, which is giving students tools to plan, organize, and monitor their own processes and watch their own learning and self-correct and evaluate. Those kinds of tools, which actually impact the brain, the neural processes, we've seen really strengthen learning in the classroom and, again, kids' confidence and their agency. When I was talking to the CEOs and hiring managers for many of the top global STEM companies, and they were talking about neurodiversity as a competitive advantage was the term they used. And I kind of expected when I interviewed them to, when I asked why are they focusing on neurodiversity in their hiring programs, I expected them to say something like, oh, well, the nephew of the CEO had autism and he thought it would be a good idea or something like that. And it wasn't that at all. It was they wanted the talent. They found that when they hired neurodiverse teams and put them together and let people's real, true talents thrive, they got the best results and their clients were happy. So that got me very interested in this connection between neurodiversity and STEM. And I really wanted to start figuring out how schools could release and nurture this competitive advantage.